Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Gruber Wired. I'm Mark Beach. John Dotson is somewhere on the high seas right now. And so I have a couple of guests with me today. I have Paul Karver, who's president of the Deer Valley School Board, and Brian Boone, who is the Chief Information Officer for Deer Valley School District. Gentlemen, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, so you guys are right around the corner, right? I mean, just a hop, skip, and a jump away. But Paul and I are friends. He's always telling me about stuff going on with Deer Valley and all the innovations and everything that happen over there. And so I thought it'd be a great idea since the cat's away, that we would have some fun today. So tell me a little bit about yourself, what you do, as far as with the school board itself,
Okay.
anything you want us to know.
Well, like Mark mentioned, my name is Paul Karver. I'm in my third year serving on the Deer Valley School Board. This year I happen to be the president, which doesn't really mean much except that you get to gavel the meetings in and have a say with what goes on the agenda.
Maybe a little extra work.
Maybe a little extra work. Yeah. So just some facts about the Deer Valley Unified School District. 367 square miles, 4,000 plus employees, 32,000 plus students, 42 schools. We just celebrated our 90th birthday this last year. So
Been around a little bit.
we've been around for a minute, and we're doing a pretty good job. This is the last 2 years, actually. Deer Valley Unified has received over 70 state championships. Now that's across academics, athletics, and arts.
Okay.
So we're doing a pretty good job.
Nice.
Pretty good job.
Great.
Yeah.
And so Brian has been here. He's actually a customer of Gruber.
Long-time customer.
Yeah, long time, and mostly on the power side, right?
Yep.
And so what, you're the chief architect of the...
Chief Information Officer, so it's similar to like a director of technology.
Okay.
You would say it at some of the districts. It just depends. Some of them have CIOs, some of them don't. Usually it depends on how big they are.
Gotcha.
But I'm a short timer at Deer Valley. I've been here almost 30 years at
Right.
Deer Valley, so trying to figure out what I'm going to do when I grow up. But,
Right.
But anyway, we've been, and we've utilized Gruber, gosh, I was trying to think about, as I pulled up here, at least 25 years,
Okay.
I would say. I think we found you guys fairly early on a state contract or something like that and utilized you for a long time.
Great. Yeah. The, I did some checking in our system and when he gave me your name and I'm like, oh yeah, no, they're in there.
Mm-hmm.
So very good. Yeah.
I've driven up to your docks and picked up cables and everything you can think of over the years with my various positions in the district. So yeah.
So as far as it has to be pretty fascinating, setting up the interconnectivity between all of the different schools and, is like a spoken hub kind of thing. Is that how, it's all set up. So if you've been there for 30 years, then, the migration from, copper, Cat 5, maybe Cat 3, I don't know, 30 years ago, right?
Actually, we had some thin net originally in our district office
Right.
that still resides up in the ceilings, believe it or not. Use it as pull strings every now and then. But
Yeah. And now you're in fiber. Do you run, OS2 fiber between your...
We do, between all the buildings? Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, we do. And then even the sites that we have where we own the contiguous land all the way through, so like, say, Deer Valley High to the Administrative Services Center to Desert Sky, we've got our own dark fiber that we own through all that as well.
Okay.
So that's single mode feeding through there. But I mean, we do our own conduit and our own fiber
Right.
between those buildings. So yeah, as a matter of fact, Gruber, probably all of our patch cords, I think in all of our schools are Gruber patch cords.
Wow.
That connect all of our fiber to our buildings. So
That's amazing.
so each building is kind of like a hub and spoke as well, or building being a school, but where it's fed from the head-end room, and each building has dark fiber feeding it, and our own fiber that we own. And
Great. Well, yeah, we that's fantastic that you're a customer. I mean, I didn't even, we talk about all kinds of stuff, but that never entered into the conversation.
I never would have thought when you asked me about it. I didn't even put two and two together. So that's amazing. That's awesome.
Small world, right?
Yep.
Oh, it definitely is. It ever.
Well, yeah, we definitely appreciate, local business for sure. I mean, we do business nationally, but we try and really capture our local, local customer base, especially when they're building so many, data centers and all that kind of stuff going on out here now. I mean, it's
without a doubt, the North Valley is
it's popping
with the plant, the chip plant. It was exploding anyway, but
yeah, and TSMC is in the school district, right? So
and now Amcor Industries just broke ground on a $7 billion facility. It's in the city of Peoria, but as I mentioned, Deer Valley Unified is 367 square miles. We go all the way out to Lake Pleasant.
wow, okay.
just shy of Black Canyon City. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. We're I think in the state of Arizona, we're geographically we're the largest school district, other than I guess there's a couple of reservation school districts that would have more, square miles. But other than that, out of all the metropolitan districts, we're the largest by far.
Wow.
So I would assume, in 20, 30 years from now, we'll probably easily be the biggest school district in the state of Arizona, because by
is
the
where
time
the
the whole
growth is.
I-17
Yeah,
corridor
sure.
fills out, we'll be bigger than the Mesas and the Tucson Unifieds and the rest of them. It'll just happen. It's just,
And it's just the best
One of those
part of the
things.
valley, I mean, we love it up here.
I live here, so I tend to agree.
Yeah, I grew
Little
up here, so
biased, but,
it's I am biased as well. And we have a couple comments in here and that's Pete Gruber, the owner, and he says, "Welcome and thank you for joining the podcast. We actually been doing business since the late '80s, and thank you for the business." So yeah, that'd be kind of almost right after Gruber started.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah,
The
for
company's
me,
been in business 40 years, so
wouldn't quite be that long. It would have been my predecessor, but yeah,
Right, yeah.
So maybe the thin net came from you guys. From
Could
the
have.
stealing of our district office.
Doing
Well,
business
Pete-
since I graduated from Deer Valley.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, well, Pete's the archive, so he would know. Well, Paul, you brought some slides, and so we kind of want to talk about the school district and some of the great things that they're doing, and highlight what you want to highlight. So if we kick up the slideshow there, and he's going to tell you to advance as he goes.
Go ahead and next. So some of the slides I put together today speak mainly to our CTE classes that we have in the Deer Valley Unified School District. A lot of people don't know, but the building that Brian calls home now used to be the Regional VOTEC Center for the North Valley. We had vocational classes there and whatnot, and with the introduction of WestMec to the West Valley, a lot of schools kind of moved away from some of the higher level vocational trainings and just kind of did I don't want to say the bare minimum, but some more basic CTE courses. Deer Valley, though, even though we lost that building due to the entrance of WestMec, we did not shy away from CTE classes. So next slide, please. You can see here that Deer Valley Unified School District carries 52 CTE courses throughout its 6 high schools. Now, I say 6 high schools. We have 5 brick and mortar high schools and 1 online high school, Aspire. Aspire is also ranked the top online campus in the state. Next slide, if you wouldn't mind. You can see here the benefit of having CTE classes in a school district and where Deer Valley Unified ranks with those. Our CTE concentrators, those would be students completing 2 or more courses in a program, graduated nearly 98%. They earn industry credentials at rates 14 points higher than the state and outperform their peers by 20 points on technical skills assessments. So here you can see in these graphs that we have compared ourselves to the state when it comes to graduation, when it comes to earning recognized credentials and skills assessment points. Next slide, please. This next slide talks about CTE by the numbers DVUSD versus the state. And what we're going to discuss here is the math, ELA, and science scores. With our CTE students outperforming the state by double digits in math, ELA, and science, we're proud to celebrate the incredible work of our students, the dedication of our teachers, and the impact our CTE pathways has on students, their futures. It's a well-established fact that when you introduce CTE, because of the things that it possesses with the math and the science piece, that it helps with.
Makes it practical.
It makes it practical, a
Right.
real-world application, and it helps children adapt the kind of processes that they're introduced to in the different CTE courses to their everyday reading, writing, arithmetic.
Right. It makes it real instead of just, numbers on paper or theory in a lab or whatever. So what are some examples of some of the CTE programs?
Sure. So up at Boulder Creek High School, which is up in Anthem, Arizona, the CTE course that I speak about most frequently, but by no means is the only one there, is their engineering course.
Okay.
The engineering course up there, most of their college-bound graduates will go to either the ASU engineering department or to Embry-Riddle up north. This engineering class up there is absolutely amazing. The students, as they reach the end of their time in that classroom, being their third or fourth year, they will be spending the year designing an item that could have a real-world application. And they will design this item using 3D rendering on a CAD machine, on a computer.
Okay.
And then we have 3D printers in the classroom. So they will need to take this model that they've designed in the computer, send it to the 3D printer, print out the different pieces that they need, assemble it, and then actually see it perform the task that they've designed for it. Another cool thing about that engineering class is they have robotics and robotics competitions. So those really cool shows that you'll see on different channels on cable where they have robot wars.
Right.
Some of our kids actually participate in some of those things, and it's not necessarily wars, but the robot has to perform a function, right? And I mean, every one of our high schools has a specific thing that they might be known for when it comes to CTE, even though all of them possess, in some cases, close to a dozen CTE courses. Barry Goldwater, for example, the CTE course that they are most widely known for is our culinary arts class.
Okay.
We actually have a functioning restaurant on Barry Goldwater campus, which is at 27th Avenue in Rose Garden. It's called 27th Ave, and you can make reservations to actually eat there. And there's a full professional kitchen in the back of this classroom and a state-of-the-art restaurant in the front end. And the kids learn hospitality because they perform the host-hostess features. They do the busing, and they also do the entire food prep and cooking in the back end. So anytime you have an opportunity, you call ahead because it's always packed. You make yourself a reservation. I believe it's either a 4 or 5 course meal that you can go experience there. There's obviously a cost associated with it, but
it's pretty nominal for what you get.
It is.
Wow.
It's a great experience, and it doesn't cost a lot. And Barry Goldwater reintroduced last year building trades, which is something that a lot of folks in the community are really eager to see come back into schools with CTE because it's blue collar, and the communities feel like we've kind of moved away from a lot of the blue collar CTE. Well, in this building trades class, the students get to learn electrical wiring, they get to learn plumbing, they get to learn framing, everything associated with the building and construction of a building, to the point that the original plan, and I don't know if it's changed since I've spoken to the instructor, but the original plan was by year 3, they wanted to start actually building tiny homes or go back to building portables for the district. And I say go back because back when the building that Brian works out of was our vocational technical center, we had a vocational carpentry class there.
Right.
And they would actually build portables that the district would use. So
that's practical.
yes, and these type of CTE courses really get me fired up because it is a self-sustaining type of class.
Sure.
Whether it is building the portable, which now the district can purchase at half the going rate, or whether it's a tiny home to sell, you now have income coming back in, so it becomes self-sustaining, and it's not a burden on the budget, and we get to have these amazing type of classes. And like I said, we've got 3 more high schools. I could just go on and on.
Right.
But,
and putting humans out in the world that have actual skills.
Right.
And
You talk about building the portables. So we have 4 of those portables still on my site at the Administrative Services Center. And that's actually one of them we utilize and we house our Chrome repair out of. So all of our Chromebooks we repair in-house, and it's done in one of these portables that I have to admit, they're getting a little long in the tooth, but it's probably 50 years old. But we still have 4 of them sitting out there that we still utilize to this day that the students built.
Wow.
So it's kind of exciting that it's coming full circle and they're actually going to start building them again. So maybe I can twist their arm and get a new portable or 2 placed over there with the program when they get to that point.
I mean, these are 17 and 18-year-olds that built these things that, in my case, from my graduating class, it's coming on almost 40 years now that those portables have been used in the district. So there's a great return on investment there.
Absolutely.
Some of the other great things that we're known for is our marketing department out at Mountain Ridge, our DECA classes. We have HOSA, which is health occupation courses. We have at Sandra Day, they've got physical training. They've got tables and STEM units and the whole 9 yards set up in there. And these kids actually work with licensed physical therapists that team up and go to all of our sporting events. So when you see the kids on the field when a football player goes down, the folks that run out there are the folks that are participating in these classes. And so they're actually getting real world application with some of the things that they get to learn in the class. Deer Valley Unified has the HOSA classes. And something that kind of hides in the background with CTE is our Air Force Junior ROTC programs.
Okay.
We have 2 of them, which is kind of unique because most districts only get 1 at 1 campus. We have 2 of them, and they both have shooting ranges for their air rifle competitions. Last year, we actually had a national champion out of the district, out of our junior ROTC program. And now we've introduced bow and arrow. I can tell you that the ROTC team that is up at Sandra Day also has, it's escaping my mind. Come on, help me out. It's virtual,
VR
simulators.
simulators.
Simulator. It's a flight simulator. Thank
Okay.
you. Brain
There you
fade
go.
there for a minute. But we actually have flight simulators, and they also have some RC planes, so they can go out and teach them how to. On top of all the service hours that those ROTC teams put out there, they also have these great, phenomenal things going on in the classrooms. So
We have this
Wow.
as well. Is
yes,
media
actually,
productions.
yes, media productions, and several of our campuses have the green room with everything that you see going on here.
Yep.
We actually have those. So if you'd ever come like to take a look at those, and happy to show
Absolutely.
you.
Yeah, I imagine that it presents a lot of variety of unique needs for the IT department to be able to support all these different programs, because no 2 are alike, right? So
Oh,
they're
absolutely.
all going to have their own cook to taste, kind of setup, especially like 3D printing, right? And all the different.
There's TriCasters, which probably is what you guys are using here. So we've got TriCasters at our media production sites where we've got to keep those up and running and live, and they do morning announcements on them every day. So
Right. Yeah. So that'd be you're talking about like a multicast studio. So it goes out to YouTube and TikTok and Insta or Facebook Live.
yeah, in our case, we self-brand YouTube, but
Okay.
and then we also do a live broadcast on campus. Some of the campuses don't want it going out to the outside world,
Right.
so we just broadcast within the campus. But it's
Sure.
still done as a live broadcast on a TriCaster and
Nice.
the whole shot. Yeah. So
Okay.
and especially as teachers ebb and flow and stuff, there's always new training that needs to happen to bring them up to speed. And sometimes the kids definitely can help with that if you have seniors in the class. But
Wow. I mean,
Always something to
how
do.
things have changed, right?
Well, and to the point you're talking about the challenges that his department encounters with all of these moving parts. On top of that, you've got the regular administrative PCs that are in the buildings, and then in Deer Valley Unified, because we've been blessed enough to have generous bonds over the years, we are able to boast one-to-one technology. So every student that goes to school in the Deer Valley Unified School District has their own device, a laptop or a tablet,
Right.
that they get to use for their educational purposes. So there's a lot of different moving parts that his department has to manage to protect the devices, protect the kids, and make sure everything works the way that it needs to. So it really is a monumental effort by our IT department.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet. Because people like
Thank
to
you.
tinker. You know what I mean?
definitely.
I mean, I've done some stuff in software, and if somebody can break it, they break it.
Actually, some of our better hires have actually been the high school kids that were hacking us.
I was going to say, I think we
we've
have
hired a few of them. Have a couple of them working for us now, and
There you
those
go.
are actually some of our better hires. We're like, how did you do that? And
they
give
know
us an
how to
idea.
block the gate. Yeah.
we get to hear about it all the time. And like you said, I think they're some of the best testers.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The industry will come to us and tell us that this is great. They can't do this. They can't do that. And within a couple of weeks, maybe all of a sudden we're getting reports of students being able to get past certain things that we were promised
Right.
couldn't happen.
Right.
But because of that, as Brian mentioned, they become some of the best testers, and in the end, some of the best employees, because they've identified how to get the end right.
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
There you go. How to break the machine.
How to break
Yeah.
the machine. Yep.
Breakers are very important in our ecosystem.
Yeah. Is it ever?
Last
All
couple
right.
of slides, if you want. Industry partnerships. We partner. I mean, we're talking about real life application with so many of these things, and we partner with industry partners in the district for the most part that can really help us identify modern trends and modern application, so that as these children are learning these different devices, in some cases, these different processes, we have real life applications in some of these situations. Next slide, if you would, please. You can see in the middle there, we partner with Marriott International. We benefit from having JW Marriott right up the road at Desert Ridge.
Cass. And
All
next
right, next slide, if you would, please. That's okay.
There we go.
Experiencing technical difficulties.
So yeah,
Stay with us.
Marriott International, the kids that work in the Avenue 27 that I was talking about, they get to go over to Marriott and work as interns in the kitchen and see how that all plays out. And you see there, we've got Mayo Clinic for HOSA. I know that we do some work with, I believe it's Core and Chase Contracting.
Yep,
And
McCarthy as well.
McCarthy, and so our building trades get some real life application there. And it's just it's a total package. The administration has really done an amazing job making sure that everything that we teach really has a purpose and an application. We were talking about earlier how it's great to see how the things that we learn can be applied as students. I remember when I was going to school, taking algebra and geometry and trig and everything. We're like, I'm never going to use this.
Right.
Well, I went to school to be a draftsman, to be an architect. So joke's on me. Lots of geometry and lots of algebra involved there. And this way the kids get to understand why it's important.
Right.
Next slide, if you would, please. So partnerships that shape the student's future, partnerships with top organizations across construction, healthcare, higher education, hospitality, and technology, provide our students with authentic learning experiences, access to industry expertise, and direct pathways to college and high demand careers. Next slide. Last year, we had 8,587 students between grades 7 through 12. You see it says 7 there. We've taken the time to roll back CTE introduction back to the junior high level. There was a time not too long after WestMec was introduced that, kids can't go to WestMec until junior year.
Right.
So there was this, what are we actually going to do in junior high? And now we've actually been able to roll it back, and we have wood shop in some junior high classes. We've got drafting back in some of the junior high classes, and we're trying to figure out how we can introduce the kids to these CTE concepts ahead of junior year so that they know which direction they want to go. Because the truth of the matter is, if we wait till junior year and they decide to go do something at WestMec, they've only got 2 years now left to figure out, to play. What do I like? What don't I like? In my case, when I went to Deer Valley Middle School and then Deer Valley High School, I started in Deer Valley Middle School with drafting. And because I started early, I was able to achieve the vocational class for drafting and carpentry by my junior year.
Okay.
So I had my senior year, I was able to participate in what they called at the time ICE, which was Industrial Cooperative Education, that through our business partnerships, the district would help the student get a job in that industry. You would show up for the 1 hour class of ICE, and it was a 3 hour credit. And I don't know if we still have the 3 hour credit anymore, but then you would go to work. And so it really was a good partnership. So
for the
yes.
uninitiated, so you threw out WestMec a few times.
Yes.
People may not know what that is.
Sure.
Yep.
So to speak to that, back in the 90s, I believe it was, there was a ballot initiative that introduced WestMec as a CTE alternative, because not all districts excel at CTE the way that Deer Valley does. And that's not anything against them. Some of them have other things to focus on, which is great. So CTE filled this huge gap in allowing students to participate in CTE courses that may not be available at their campus. I like to use, for example, the WestMec campus that's out by the Glendale Airport has avionics.
Okay.
Who gets to do avionics in their high schools?
Right.
Not even in Deer Valley do you get to do avionics.
Right.
So they have sheet metal, and they've got all of the great blue collar type of CTE courses that are out there. So
Deer Valley's not the only school district that feeds into that, then, correct?
correct. So
there's EVIT in the East
there's
Valley.
EVIT in the East
Yeah.
Valley, and there's WestMec in the West Valley.
Okay.
And these entities are supported the same way that school districts are through a tax that we pay through our property taxes. And they offer next level CTE education. If a student were to get into a certain groove that they really enjoyed in the CTE environment that was then offered at WestMec, you can graduate from WestMec with your total certification, like for automotives, your ASE cert and things like that.
Sure.
One step beyond what you could get from Deer Valley. Deer Valley can get you a lot of certifications. We can get you a lot of certificates of accomplishment and achievement. But then through our partnership with WestMec, if you were to go on to that next step, you could finish, and to the point that a lot of folks in the community talk about, and not all kids are college bound.
Right.
If you use the tools that are in place through what DVUSD offers, and then graduating into the WestMec field and getting it done there, you finish WestMec and you can go get yourself a job doing anything that you might have started off at CTE. I mean, when I use myself as the example, when I was in drafting, I could get a bare minimum draftsman's job finishing high school and going out to be a draftsman.
Right.
But now with this WestMec piece, if that happened to be a class that WestMec offered, you could end up with a certification in CAD, which would get you that next level.
Right.
That next level deal. So if you go to the next slide there, you'll see the breakdown of those 8,500 students.
Yes.
Thank you so much. So 5,700 of them through Deer Valley Unified. 371 of those kids took advantage with the WestMec piece, right?
Okay.
And then the 2474 career explorations, those are before high school. So those are our 7th and 8th graders trying to figure out what is it that I like, and trying some of the different CTE classes that are made available. So yeah, a total of almost, a little bit over 8,500 students last year. If you go to the last slide, you'll see that coupled with the great things that we have available with the CTE courses and across all the different metrics that measure what an A-rated district is, this isn't a self-appointed grade. This is the state measuring the accomplishments of the district, and it takes into account proficiency scores and graduation rates and attendance rates and all those kind of things. So you can see there that we have 27 A-rated schools in the Deer Valley Unified School District. All 5 of our high schools are A-rated. I believe this year we only have 2, maybe 3 C-rated schools. Everybody else is either a B or an A.
Okay.
And that slide is from last year's grade, but we've received this year's grade, and it is still at 27.
Wow.
So that is a huge percentage of our classes, or not our classes, but our actual campuses that are A-rated schools. So that would be the extent of that presentation.
There
for
we
you, Mr.
go.
Beach.
That was very good. Yeah.
That was pretty dang good. Yeah.
So how many tech guys does it take to support all that?
We kind of ebb and flow, but usually just over 50.
Yeah.
You know, we've actually, I think our high point was probably back in 2008 before we actually laid off quite a few people.
Okay.
And I think we had 65 or so then, but we lost some staff and just never have gained it back. We've kind of been able to optimize our processes to try to make up for it, which you need to do anyway in technology. But yeah, so we sit like 52, 53, 54. It depends. Some of our entry level positions, we don't always keep them as long as we'd like to. But
people get in, learn, and move on. Right?
Actually, you wouldn't believe what we lose to like ASU of the world in Maricopa County, and because we bring them in, we train them.
Sure.
And then ASU is like, great, now they know C++ and PHP programming, and then they've picked up some of our programmers from us. So
our new IT guy here, Mitch, was an administrator for an IT network at a school district. So we'll introduce you to him after. But he, came to work here. So I mean, it happens, right?
Oh, it definitely does. And honestly, you'd never begrudge anybody, to better themselves. Our hope is that we keep them for a few years. And then help train staff and bring other new folks along, and that we can just keep it rolling.
It has to be a pretty exciting environment because it's ever changing. I'm sure.
Is it ever? Yeah.
Lots of requirements, lots of new things to explore. You're dealing with educators, so they're always going to have ideas, right?
Oh,
and
definitely.
What if we did this, or I saw this? Can we talk about this?
There's definitely not a lack of ideas. Yeah, that's
no.
that's
I bet. You had sent a couple pictures. I don't know if we want to bring them up real quick.
Actually, I think Paul covered a lot of this stuff
Did
there,
he?
but
okay.
I thought I'd give a shot of we do have
bring
interactive
up picture one.
Yeah, I think you got it up here.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, it's so that's a shot of an interactive whiteboard that we implemented through our 2019 Deer Valley bond that Mr. Karver was referring to there.
No more pounding erasers.
Yeah, we put interactive whiteboards in every classroom throughout the whole district, and so they're 86-inch displays, and they're beautiful displays. I mean, 4K, and so every classroom has one. Every teaching classroom has one. And so that's just a shot there. The teachers, I think now, I don't think we could ever go back. I don't think I could ever take them away from them, because it's when these are down. Luckily we were able to do a large purchase, and we got white glove service and all that good stuff to be able to repair them and replace them fairly quickly.
Right.
But man, when they're down, it. The
Right.
teacher, and rightfully so, the teacher needs it and needs it back, and so. We have like a spares program and some of that to get, stuff back into the classroom, get them working again. But they're beautiful displays, super clear. We used to have projectors before this. Actually, the cabling of those projectors would have been Gruber cables that we had up in the ceiling at the time.
Sure.
But projectors before that, but they're not near as bright. They're not as clear. They don't come on as fast. They don't, it's just, there's so many things within these interactive displays that you get that you just don't get with the old-fashioned projector. So
Yeah, I mean, I come from the overhead projector with the gels and the TV on the cart, the AV cart with the tape.
we still find those every once in a while in our head-in rooms. It's like some teacher will find it and be like, okay, I'm going to finally give this up, and they'll wheel it in and we'll get rid of it. But not many of them left anymore.
What is the connectivity behind that? Is it
So it's Android OS that run in these,
Okay.
but honestly, there's with all the manufacturers now, you can hang a Chromebox off of them.
right?
You can hang a Windows PC off of them. Either a scaled down version or a full blown version. They're kind of interchangeable now with slots on the side. We went through and did a whole committee where we had buy-in from our principals and system principals and teaching staff, librarians, stuff like that, where we actually, in one of the CTE portables that we just talked about, we hung 7 of the displays up in there from all the major manufacturers, and we held meetings in there and had folks regularly come in and just try them out, see what you like, and then this ended up being the pick. But there's a lot of, and they're only getting better by all the manufacturers, to be honest with you.
Sure.
But we ended up going with this brand, and which is it's been worked well for us, and like them so far.
I mean, it's hard. I can see the value, and you can save stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
So it's not.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you can save your work that you do, and then you can go back and say if you have a sub or something like that, well, it makes it pretty easy because they can go back and pull.
Seamless. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just smooth transition.
Yep. So
Something I noticed in one of the classrooms when I was visiting, another great feature that I didn't realize that these things had was that when the kids have to do their presentation, like I said, they're all one-to-one, so they take their file and they go up to the machine and
they can cast to it.
they cast to it, and they can run their whole PowerPoint off of that. And
Wow.
there's no plug or anything like that. It's just a code, like when you hook up to your TV at the house. And
Right.
maybe I'm just too old to really realize how frequent that kind of thing is, but I just thought that's amazing. And so now these kids are giving these presentations in front of these huge TVs instead of, like you said, when you and I grew up, overhead projectors, or maybe we had a PowerPoint presentation, but that was still plugged in, and then the new projectors. And so this is just...
Casting's really slick, and it allows the kid to show their work, and the teacher can walk behind whatever kid and have them cast up to it. It's pretty slick. It actually took a little while to get that working right. The first versions of the casting was, like an Apple TV,
Right.
doing AirPlay, which sometimes worked well, sometimes didn't. You didn't know what classroom sometimes you were even casting into. But with these new view boards, they're really pretty slick. They come up with a code on them. You know which one you're going to, and the kids can't just jump in on another classroom and break in on it and everything. So but it really is pretty slick. When you have a kid that really knows what they're doing, they can display their work, and maybe a sense of pride for them. But it's
Sure.
they really are slick, and it was one of those things that we were able to get them out pretty quickly.
Well, and it's understanding concepts too, not just the act of doing it, but understanding the concepts of how the technology works, and learning something adjacent to what their primary, subject might be, which is great. Well, guys, we've gone, that's 30 minutes, and it goes fast.
It does. Actually, it went really fast.
Yeah, I really appreciate you guys being here. It's right around the corner. I know you live around the corner, and the district is close too. But we're honored to have you. And anytime you want to come back and talk, we'll have you here. Please like, subscribe, and share this podcast. We're here because you're here. We are here every Thursday, 3 p.m. Arizona time. So like, subscribe, and share. For now, I'm Mark Beach. I want to thank Paul Karver and Brian Boone again for being here today. And join us next week. John will be back from his high seas adventure, and maybe we'll get some stories. Thanks.